Story of the time Miley Cyrus went to my elementary school. So I was in first grade, and all the cool kids sat at the round table during lunch. And one of the cool kids was absent one day, so I ended up sitting there. I sat next to this girl named Riley. And over the school year, me and Riley became really close friends. One day at the lunch table, she told me she had a really, really big secret that she could only share with me and that I can't tell anybody else. She told me that she was Hannah Montana. And at first, I was a little bit confused because I saw Hannah Montana on TV and she didn't really look like her that much. But then she had told me that her hair was just a wig because her hair was blonde and her actual hair is brown. And her family told her that she had to tell everybody her name was Riley, but in reality, her name was Miley. She invited me over her house to see her walk-in closet and to also show me herself without her wig. Little first grade me was so hype about joining the cool table, but not only that, now I was friends with Hannah Montana. So I went to her house and then soon realized she wasn't Hannah Montana.
After stalking him for a while, my celebrity crush asked me out on a date. But he didn't know I was stalking him, of course. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it was sent to me on Instagram. On the date, he pretty much only talked about himself. He told me he had just broken up with his ex, which I knew that. And I basically pretended not to know anything about him. There was lots of awkward silence and I just couldn't help but stare at him the whole time. That's when he asked for the check and paid for dinner. I was totally expecting him to ask me to go back to his place. Well, when he didn't, I was really disappointed. So I did the logical thing. I invited myself over. That's when he told me that he couldn't because he had to get up early. After that, I didn't hear back from him at all. So I decided to go to the gym where I knew he was going to be. But when I tried to say hello to him, he told me to stay away. Then he asked one of the gym employees to escort me out. And when I got home, the cops were waiting for me to arrest me. They showed me pictures of me stalking my celebrity crush. Part 3 is up.
It happened again.
What happened again?
I got in trouble at school.
What did you do?
Well, the teacher was asking questions about animals. Ray was called on, and she said, "Ray, what's a four-legged animal that says moo?" And he said, "That's a cow." Then I was called on, and she said, "Dami, what's the type of bird that has feathers but can't fly?" And I said, "Well, teach."
Story time of how my daughter almost died. So my daughter never sneaks out or anything like that. She's a good kid and I trust her. This one day she asked to go on a group study project at nighttime and I said yes. She left around 7 p.m. and it got kind of late. So naturally I started to worry. At 10 p.m. I was about to text her because I had this gut feeling that something was wrong. But I didn't want to be one of those annoying moms who doesn't let her kids live or even study late. So I was apprehensive, but I forced myself to do something else to pass the time. Time passed really quickly, and it was 11 p.m. Then the clock strikes midnight. I kind of panicked because she's never been out that late without me, and she was with some other kids I didn't even know. I texted her asking her to come home, and she responded 15 minutes later. She was like, "I'm fine, I'm coming," but it's with excessive caps and emojis and abbreviations and LOLs, and I know my daughter doesn't text like that. I felt like a crazy paranoid person at that point, so I closed my eyes and fell asleep before I knew it. I woke up, an hour had passed. Now it's 1 a.m. and I don't know where my daughter is. Text her one more time, but it says this caller is not available or something like that. I panic and press the buttons 911 on my phone. Part 2 of how my daughter almost died. So I call 911 trying really hard not to pass out because I'm so worried and I think I'm gonna have a panic attack, and when I have those I usually faint. The police picks up and they go, "What's your emergency? Where are you?" The usual stuff. They say, So I go, "My daughter's been missing for 6 hours and I don't know where she is." And they're like, "Ma'am, it's okay. She's a teenager. Let her live." Literally everything I was thinking. She's like, "Calm down, whatever." And I'm begging her, like, I know something's wrong. So she says she's a mother too and she understands. And the police car's on the way. So I was like, "Why didn't you tell me it was on the way when you were talking to me?" Like I was desperately trying to send you to me to get a search party to search for my daughter. And you had people sent out all along. So I'm pissed, but it's whatever. I just want my daughter home. And the police and the search party go to the school and they find her in a closet. So she's locked up. It's the janitor's closet, and these stupid kids took her phone and locked her up and left her in there. It was hot in there, hard to breathe, and she almost passed out. She had lost her voice from screaming for help, and they just left her like that. Of course, I hugged her and cried, but after that, we had a long talk about the types of friends she should be making. Like for part 3.